Welcome to the Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul, where I am your host, Dr. Michelle Bowden Hammond, and we are here for the RayeQueen Self Care Corner month. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hello, everyone. Peace and blessings.
So, we have a good heavy hitter topic tonight. Since we know Women's Health Month, we're going to come off with some stuff. Dr. Ray is here to give us some pointers, especially talking about how medically we have some racism that goes on within the people of the BIPOC community. And we might stay on that topic for a little bit, but we know there's some other things that we can do. But also, we also want to branch in just overall women wellness, especially for us who are because, historically, it's like we handle so much and they think we can handle so much and then we don't know how to escape from it. So we're going to talk about some wellness things for your mind, your body, and your soul. So again, Dr. Karen, thank you for coming and saying yes for joining us tonight.
Like somebody can say no to you, Dr. Michelle. Cut it out. Cut it out.
You can. Sure you can.
Doesn't happen.
So with the HPOC, the Holistic Professionals of Color, we're talking about celebrating women's health. Can you give us how did this come into play for HPOC?
Oh, yeah, of course. So HPOC, which stands for Holistic Professionals of Color, in case somebody's new to this podcast, or new to me rather, we have health initiatives every month. And so for the month of April, we're celebrating Black women, and we call it Heal Black Woman, or Black Woman Heal. Well, Black Woman, sorry. It's called Well Black Woman. And our initiative, our monthly program to honor this initiative this month is called She Heals Herself. And so we are providing ways, information, programs, resources that Black women in particular will find useful in holistically healing themselves.
I know that's a great way. Especially she heals herself because, again, we know that there needs to be a lot of healing that's going on because, again, we talk about trauma. Yep. We talk about the issues of the world. And again, they're always saying you have to be that strong Black woman. Ooh. It's so dangerous in this time of frame, for us to have that. That's a myth to me because you don't have to be the strong Black woman. And hopefully my friend Omika Jackson, she's a licensed clinical professional counselor. We had a topic about this when we did a documentary when I did for my mental health. And one of the things that she brought out in this documentary is, especially, you got to put on the super cape, right? Mm-hmm. I got to be this Wonder Woman. But the analogy that she brought to that was that cape sometimes can be the noose around your neck.
Come on now. I love it.
So, we were talking about doing a thing about the cape, a cape of fear, where you have to put all these problems on this cape and then you just wrap it up and just throw it away because you look at it being a superwoman. And sometimes it just is impossible. And that's like a meme. I got to be the mom. I got to hold this family together. But yet I got to set my problems, my issues aside because there's no one else around. So how do we talk about that? I'm still got to be this cape on my neck, but that was one of the analogies that she brought out. So I again, she heals herself. Yeah, ladies, you need to heal yourself. How you do it? We're gonna give you some pointers, but we're gonna go historically back to the next question. When we talk about, again, one of the things medically that we know that people of color, especially when it comes to childbirth, we know that's a thing that's been a problem that's going to probably increase even more. Yeah. Hard to say, but medically racism. Let's talk a little bit. How has it impacted the women's health?
My goodness. Ironically, we talk about strong Black woman. A lot of people don't know the history behind that. And that is a term that was born of enslaved Africans, right? They started doing medical experimentation on Black women, enslaved Black women, because they said that Black women are strong enough to handle these situations because they had wider hips and all those things. They equated that with being strong Black woman. And then we have adopted that colonized concept, right? We have adopted and we perpetuate it by telling people, I'm a strong Black woman. You're not supposed to be a strong Black woman. You're supposed to be a woman of strength. There's a difference between a woman of strength and being a strong Black woman. That is a slavery, a myth born from slavery. And we need to stop claiming that. We have to stop claiming it because that's the same thing that contributes to the medical racism that's happening now, where they don't give Black women the same type of anesthesia when they get procedures. They don't offer Black women the same type of resources and other alternative healing modalities when they have problems. The Black maternal death rate is ridiculous. I think that the rate is that Black women die 3 to 4 more times giving birth than other women do. I think that's the latest statistic I have. Black women have been historically excluded from clinical trials. So if you are deeply embedded in the tradition, in the allopathic medical system, know that the testing that they've done did not include Black women or women of color. It's always used based off the white woman. And this is not racist to say that we are different. We are different physiologically and biologically. Black women are different from white women. So if you do a clinical trial on white women and base all of your information, all of the medication, all of the data off of that, it doesn't apply to us, but they still give us those same prescriptions and medications that they gave the person the clinical trials were based on. And so that lends itself to medical racism. Fibroids. I think I have the biggest complaint women give me is that they have fibroids, right? We know that Black women are 3 times more likely to have a hysterectomy, right? A full hysterectomy. When fibroids can be removed or reversed or shrunk naturally. And they're like 7 times more likely to have a myomectomy, right? That's where they just remove the fibroids. But these procedures are dangerous, right? And white women don't have hysterectomies and myomectomies at the same rate, right? Because they offer them ways to dissolve the fibroids, to shrink the fibroids, to reduce the fibroids without having any invasive type of procedures. So medical racism in for Black women runs deep, real deep.
And I want to kick back. I probably get a lot of clout for this one, but when you talk about experimental, because of the big hips, and people can do whatever they want to do. Again, I think what Erykah Badu, and again, that went over some people's head. They looked at, well, she's wearing this silly thing, but she really was making a statement. Why? Because I just come back from a trip, and I'm going to be honest with you. I got so tired of seeing the BBLs. Why are you mutilating yourself? And that's the message that she's really was trying to get, because if you really knew what Sarah Barton went through,
you
wouldn't be doing this.
Right.
You wouldn't be doing this. I might get a little flack and stack with that, but I'm not understanding, wear some the old butt pads or something if you got to put them on or whatever. I'm not getting it, because one, it's dangerous. It's not natural. Dangerous. And then later on down the line, something is toxic. So why are you doing this to yourself? I'm not understanding. And then all the pain and stuff that you got to go through. But it was, it's bad when the brother that took us riding down the street, he said, you go to the left, you go to the right, you look forward, but you're looking there, that's just nasty. So, it went over a lot of people's head. Yeah, she got a lot of flack about it, but she was taking a message. You got to look at this thing in a culturally competent, traditional, ancestral way.
Right.
You have to look at this. Would we be doing that to ourselves? Because again, we say that we are the princesses or the queens that we are. Why are you mutilating yourself?
Why?
You
put yourself at risk.
Yeah, and it's a risk. Look. look what's the little boy comedian that everybody like? His wife went somewhere. She died because she was going to get this stuff done.
Is it that serious? Is it that serious?
Is it that
to your
serious?
earlier point, most of the brothers I know don't even appreciate it. They don't like it. They think it's ridiculous. They prefer a natural, even if it's smaller, as long as it's natural behind. You know what I mean? So who are they doing this for? And why are we basing our self-esteem and our self-worth off how big our behinds are? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Again, I don't get it, but again, to choices. So it's the choices that we make. Girls, wake up. Yep. It might be the fad, but not all fads are good for us. Again, start healing yourself, because again, as I said, just take this initiative to think about ways you can heal yourself mentally, physically, and emotionally. You got to heal yourself, and you are perfect just the way you are. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to say that, but we're going to take a quick break and we're going to come back. And we're going to be talking about some remedies, some herbal remedies, especially, again, a couple months back, we talked about wound types. So we're definitely going to jump into that. So we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. Welcome back to another episode of Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul. And I'm here with my sister friend, Dr. RayeQueen Karen Haymore. Woo, 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 woo. And we are talking about, this strictly being on women wellness, Black women wellness, and how you as a she can heal yourself. All this that needs to be what we need to think about, because we do need healing. Stop being that superwoman. Karen White, I loved her song. I'm not your superwoman.
Come on.
That you can mess around and take away and think it's okay. No. Mm-hmm. I'm only human. That's what I am. That's it. So again, you talked about, past, we talked about the medical, the racism and stuff in there. But now we're going to move into, we talked about a couple months ago, and we got a pretty good talking about this. Wound, knowing your wound type. So let's go get into that about these wound types again.
Okay. I love talking about the wound types. That's my baby. When I first got into the business, I guess you can say, I started with women's health. That's my first baby, right? Because I am a woman. So wound types, yeah. So after decades of research and compiling data and comparing, different women and their symptoms and their personalities and all of that comes along with it, we developed a wound type system, right? And we are not a monolithic group of people, right? As women, we each have different wound types, right? So this answers the question, why did Chash Berry work for my friend when she was having hot flashes, but it didn't work for me? Well, the answer is you have a different wound type. And so one of the best gifts you as a woman can give yourself is to learn what your wound type is. The wound types are classified based off the elements, right? So we have the earth, fire, water, and air wounds, right? I'm an air wound type. There's a test you can take. You can go to my personal website, which is RayeQueen.com, to take the test and find out what your wound type is. But I'll give you some very general information right now that might help you figure out what your wound type is. So let's start with the earth wound. You are probably an earth wound type if you are prone to having fibroids, because earth wounds have stagnation in the reproductive systems. And so they probably have fibroid problems with cysts. They probably have a thick uterine lining. They might experience heavy periods or low libido, right? They have a low sex drive. And that's because earth wound types have a sense of over responsibility, right? And then they might also have difficulty releasing, right? And this is why the earth wound types tend to have a lot of bloating, premenstrual bloating, and tension in their abdomen areas. Okay, so that's an earth womb type. You can probably figure out which type you are based off of these descriptions I'm giving you now. Then we have the fire womb type. Ooh, the fire sisters. These are the spicy sisters out there. They're prone to inflammatory womb conditions. And so they deal with things like endometriosis, PCOS, pelvic pain. They have frequent or early periods, right? They might have more than one cycle a month, or just some spotting throughout the month, or they might have periods that show up quicker than it's supposed to. And then we have our water womb sisters, right? Our water womb sisters are prone to irregular or very long cycles. They have a lot of mood swings. They have water retention. They retain water. And so they're prone to bloating and breast tenderness, right? They might have ovaries in their cyst, delayed ovulation, or delayed conception. Like these sisters, these are the ones who tend to have the most difficulty with conceiving, right? And then we have the air wombs. Woo-hoo, I'm an air womb. Where my air womb sisters at? We are prone to having absent or very light periods or irregular cycles. There might be dryness, and that doesn't have to be vaginally. It can also be with the uteral line. The womb has a lining around the uterus that can be very dry, which is why you have light periods. The skin can be dry, just your all over skin. And then stress-related hormone conditions are really applicable to my air womb sisters. That's me type. And then with the air womb types, we're also detached from our reproductive health. And so we stay in our heads. That's what that means. We're more in our heads than in our bodies. And so that presents a host of problems for the air womb sister types. So those are the 4 categories. If you know what your womb type is, you can find out very specifically. And I have a book. I want to show you if I can find it. I should have had it ready, huh? I'll find it. Anyway, if you know what your womb type is, you can find out exactly the type of herbs, the type of foods, the type of any type of natural remedy that will work best for your womb type so that you don't experience these different conditions. If you don't want to take the test, this month it's half off in honor of She Heals Herself. And so it's only $25 this month. But if you don't want to take that test, you can buy my book. It's on Amazon, and it's called Womb Liberation. I should have had it here, but I don't. I have it over there. Oh, I lied. Womb Liberation. Here it is. You could buy this on my website for cheaper than Amazon. My website is RayeQueen.com, or you can go on Amazon. And there's an abbreviated version of the test in here, and it gives you everything you need to know to take care of your particular womb type.
Or they can go to the website that is right here and get most of the questions. You can actually get there to get the assessment there on right there. That's right down below on the screen. I will say I've had the pleasure. Speaking of that, I have had the pleasure of having to formulate at the retreats. Let me hint. That is why it's good that you start doing these retreats that I put on, because it's a whole healing process for the mind, body, and soul. So I will say keep watching, because Dr. Karen will be a part of them.
I'll be there.
Look, even though we had a little mishap, but she still made it. We did it virtually, which a lot of the women are still talking about that. So it's behooves you, and it's good to know that you know what your womb type is, because you're wondering why you act in a certain way. It's because, again, it goes down to what you're putting in yourself again, and that makes a whole lot of difference. Now, you viewer out there might be asking, well, could it be possibly she done gave me all these types of could it be possible that I be a mixture of both of them? Well, yes, because I figured it out myself when she was doing the assessment for me. Mine is earth and water. So yes, it is possible. But again, to get the key analysis that you need, you do need to take this. And she can give you some good references for it. So again, information is key. Knowledge is power. So if you want to be this female sitting here this month and I'm just all over the place. This is the first quarter is over. We're going into the second quarter. So you got something. What are you going to do to heal yourself? That's the question. How
Right.
are you going to heal yourself? So, she also said that there's certain herbs that you can get. So that's where we're going to go to now.
Okay.
According to, and you said something earlier, that when you talk about these experiments or clinical trials, we don't do them. So the reason why we don't do them, again, that goes back to medically racism, because we know we had this other stuff with the Tuskegee Airmen was Newton and syphilis tool, all this typical stuff. So we don't trust. But wouldn't it be powerful if we can come up and assist with our own clinical trials for people of color? Because again, one of the things is that we are, okay, you look at Henrietta Lacks. Look, her family just getting paid a couple years ago about what they were using her cells to help with cancer. Our genes and DNA is good, real good, because one, we are blood-borne people. That is everything that happens to us. It happens through the blood. So we have good blood, good we can say a good resource, and it has a lot of good healing remedies. And another thing is how you eat according to, that's a whole nother series. I have to get Dr. Janisa on about that, how to eat according to your blood type. Trust me, I'm working on it. I'm learning more about it. But can you give a specific, and maybe a little bit, don't give them all, because we want you to learn. Go to HPOC. You will get all the information that you will need. Very good, reliable resource of information. Especially, can you give and recommend a herb that or food that every woman should take?
That I get that question a lot. And the simple answer is no. There's not a one size fits all, right? However, there are some herbs that speak to women at different phases in their life. And so I'll break that down by phase very, very quickly. So let's start from the top. I'm gonna start with 50-year-olds. Okay. If you're in your 50s, if you're not menopausal already, you're definitely perimenopausal and about to be menopausal, right? And so what the herb you need in your 50s is red clover. I hope your viewers have pencil and paper. Write this down. If you're in your 50s, you need red clover because it has phytoestrogens in it that help to ease menopausal symptoms, but it also supports bone health. And this is when we really begin to lose the strength in our bones, the calcium in our bones. You see women start to shrink, and I can't afford to shrink. I'm only 5'3". I need all the height I can keep. So it's good for that. And then salmon. Now that's one food I recommend all women in their 50s to eat on a regular basis is salmon. I know we have a bunch of vegans on the call, or they're considering it. If you're a vegan, you can add flaxseed to your diet. It will do almost the same thing as salmon does. But I want to encourage my vegan sisters out there to think of food as medicine. Yes, I believe in veganism, but I also know that there are certain times that there are certain minerals and nutrients that you need that can only be found in a few sources. So if you're a vegan, it's okay to say, I'm gonna eat some salmon this week because I'm 55 and I'm going through menopause and I'm gonna need the omega-3s to help reduce the inflammation, to support my brain fog, to support my joint health. It's okay. It's okay to cheat every now and then if you're a vegan to use food as medicine. Okay, just want to throw it out there. All right, for my 40-year-olds, chaste tree berry. I know a lot of sisters going through the change always take chaste tree berry. If you're in your 50s, it won't do you as good as it does in your 40s. So my 40-year-old sisters, they need help with balancing their estrogen and the progesterone. It will ease perimenopausal symptoms. And the food is sweet potatoes for my 40-year-old sisters, my sisters in their 40s. People don't know that sweet potatoes are rich in phytoestrogens. So if you experience like really crazy symptoms like hot flashes or vaginal itching or whatever, eat more sweet potatoes and watch those symptoms go away. It supports the hormonal shifts. Okay. My 30-year-old sisters, ashwagandha. People think about ashwagandha as a way to kind of relax your nervous system. And it does that too, but it also supports your thyroid health, right? And the thyroid helps with processing the hormones. And that's crucially important in your 30s as you begin the perimenopausal transition. So my sisters in your 30s, eat that and a bunch of leafy greens at that point in your life. It does support your hormone health. The leafy greens do. Not that you can't eat these all the time, but it's vitally important at these periods. My sisters in their 20s, they should take maca root, MACA root. A lot of people haven't heard of that one, but it does balance your hormones and it supports fertility. Anybody trying to get pregnant should think about taking maca root and eat avocados on a regular basis in your 20s. It's good for skin, brain, and hormone production, for the production of hormones. And then my teenagers, my teen babies, they should be taking nettle leaf or dong quai in your teens. It's good for menstrual cramping. It's good for the introduction, like you're at the beginning phase of your cycles. And so it's good for helping with that transition into puberty. So it's really good for that. And the foods they should eat are berries, just berries, blueberries, blackberries, strawberries, any kind of berries. It's really good for that transition into hormonal health. So, and my 60-year-olds, just follow what the 50s do, 50-year-olds do. Or older than that.
So, hey, listen, that was a well full of knowledge right there. I'm telling you guys, I'm telling you, it's so much. And I mean, the workshops that's coming up, HPOC offers a whole lot. So, especially for us people of color, and we know a lot of things is getting stripped away, but one of the things is that you got the history right here. We got to keep the history rolling. They trying to strip it, but we got to keep the history rolling. So these are and good resources. Again, go get her book, Womb Liberation, on Amazon, or you can go to her website as she listed. And yeah, I need to try this red clover stuff myself because I'm in that era. I'm in that era. So I'm in the era now.
Join the club, sis. Me and you both.
In the era. So, again, Dr. Karen, you just come here all the time with a wealth of knowledge. I wish I could have you on here every week, but we know that's not possible. So just not possible at all. But, one of the questions that I do want to throw out there, especially the BIPOC, again, a lot of people don't realize what that means Black, Indigenous people of color. That means you can be Chinese, Asian, you can be, Mediterranean. You have color. You have some type of sort of color into you. You can be Latino, Afro-Latino. We just saw last week what happened in assumption that this man was Black, that he didn't know Spanish, but he did. And I loved it. I love every bit of it because look, I teach ESL and I let them know the other day I'm getting ready to learn some Spanish because I know when I be in here giving y'all lessons, I'm going to be understanding what you're saying.
Exactly.
Understanding what's going to be said. And that's why it's so imperative that we brace into the cultures, especially us people of color. We need to stick together. That I love his whole concept. Now he's been going viral. You know me, I'm going to be searching for him to come on the show.
Nice.
I'm gonna hit the brother up. I'm gonna hit him up. So be looking out because I go over the masses to get some certain guests. So we talk about better wellness for the mind, body, and soul. And would you agree? Because when we're talking about the mind and we're healing ourselves, she heals herself. When we're talking about the mind, one of the things is, do you agree, like being culturally competent, using therapy, even if we know there's not a lot of Black professional therapists out there, but if you do have the necessity to find one, please value them because it's very short. Would you agree? And then when you're journaling, a lot, you saying you're healing yourself. When we put things on a paper, it actually heals itself because you're setting this intention. Like you're actually pouring out, because out of your heart, it will speak on paper. So and visualizing practices, like for the single mom who you feeling overwhelmed, Go
Mm-hmm.
sit yourself in the bathroom, sit in while you're in your tub. Thank you at the ocean. Thank you on a cruise or
That's
whatever
right.
else. So those, would you agree with that? Would you agree with those?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And journaling, I think, is one. It's gaining popularity, but uh, when we journal, when we write, that is our strongest point of focus. There's nothing you can do that's stronger with your intention and attention than to write something down, because it requires more senses than any other activity. So write, write, write. Journaling is a great way to release and to create intentions.
Yeah. So then we move to the body, we talk about the body, about healing. So body, again, we're talking about things that HPOC literally, based upon is through your ancestral gene, your genealogy, learning, the herbal remedies from grandma. Go back to those things. Cause look,
Mm-hmm.
I'm thankful for my brother-in-law now for bringing me 5-gallon buckets. While I was away, he bought me 5-gallon buckets of dandelions. So what I'm going to be doing today is
Nice.
washing them and get ready to set them up for some tinctures. So, learning the sacred things, and I remember how it was done. So now that's making me go back to a way for my body and, for me to help with my mind as well, with the tinctures. It's bringing me back calling those things that I thought as a child. We used to pick them up all the time, and we used to pack them up to take them to our cousin Shirley down the road, who would make her dandelion wine, and we would wonder. So now I'm not making wine, I'm gonna make some tinctures with it today. So
You can make the wine for me. Make me some wine. Then.
make the wine for you. Okay.
Yes.
Well, there we go. I will try to do my best. I've got jars here ready to roll. So again, it those type of things, that's what we need to hold on. And then you know what? One of the things, I'm gonna just say this. I say it as sacred rest. Stop trying to keep up with the Joneses for the most popular cultural things that's going on. Am I right about it?
Yep. Yep. Stay in your lane. I
Stay
thought
in
this
your
was common
lane.
black people. We're gonna stay in our lane. We've been too busy trying to get in the other folks' lane, begging them to be in their lane. Stay in your own lane. That's what HPOC is about. Stay in your lane.
Staying in your lane, and then do restorative movements. Just take out some times to join in, to bring back the family thing dynamics again. That has been lost in our culture. When the neighborhood, because it was like that neighborhood grandmom will watch after other neighborhood grandmoms. Is not, we need to bring that back. So those are some things for mine, that we can get together. Now, as for the soul, this is why I create the spaces for retreats.
Yes.
Creative expressions. This month is stress awareness month as well.
Yeah.
Go out and dance barefooted.
Mm-hmm.
Just do something, do something. Have a community of sisterhood. Other women with like same mind, it's powerful. So if you want some healing, look, hey, go grab a couple of sisters. Hey, give me a call up. I got a couple of things that I can do. It was so funny last night. I did some somatic movement for stress training last night. It looked kind of silly, but the little girl got it. She was like, when you practice, I want to say something. I said, go ahead, baby. I want to say something. She said, when you do like this, you put your hands together and you put one leg up, that calms me down. But it was a good examination to me that she understood what I was saying and that she brought that to the forefront of what she learned. And then I did the example with her. So that's the base upon teaching.
Yeah.
That's the basis of teaching.
Yeah. Spreading our knowledge.
Spreading the knowledge. Yes, that's spreading the knowledge. So, Dr. Karen, any last words before we end this show?
No, but other than she heals herself perfectly aligns with Stress Awareness Month, because we know that Black women, strong Black women, are carrying a lot of stress in their bodies. So this is your time. This is your month. Focus on you. We spend too much time focusing on our spouses, on our children, on our jobs, on everything and everybody else. This month is about you. She heals herself. She heals her community. So this month, sisters, make it about you and be a woman of strength and not a strong Black woman.
All right, then, everyone. Again, we appreciate you here at Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul for logging in. And you know what I have to say is tonight we said we're going to take this box and we're going to draw out less material in it. So we're going to heal ourselves.
Come
So
on.
there it is. Until next week, we thank you. And again, if you have any questions, feel free. There's the information on how to reach them or something you want on the show. So we love you here. And until next week, I'm Dr. Michelle Bolden Hammond on the Upfront Mind, Body, Soul. Ashe.
Ashe.